What's good, YouTube land? That Weird Collector here. Joined, unfortunately, by...
Not really Darth Vader, but I'm wearing a Darth Vader helmet anyway because we're reviewing a lightsaber.
Because we're talking about Anakin's lightsaber. Or Luke's. Or Rey's. Or... who gives a shit anymore? Although Rey's gonna not exist soon, I guess.
Probably or at least, at the very least, nobody's gonna talk about her.
Yeah.
She's like sand. She's coarse, rough, and irritating.
And I guess we have to
everywhere.
Talk about the box, because it's a box. What's in the box? Well, that lightsaber used to be in the box.
There's also styrofoam in the box.
I wish they would stop packaging them in styrofoam, but...
Well, this is a very old... This actually came out...
My Darth Maul and Mace Windu ones both had styrofoam in them.
This is one of the older models, though. This is 2005 or 2006. I remember getting this shortly after Revenge of the Sith came out.
I imagine it might say somewhere, but it's just stuff.
Yeah.
I wish they'd stop selling them with styrofoam in them. But
again, this is one of the first ones, though. So. Yeah, there's the stand.
Oh yeah, there's pieces that are supposed to be on it, but
I think the I don't know actually where those went, but you're probably never going to use them anyway.
It's a stand. It's exactly what you think it
Besides,
is.
your other lightsabers probably came with the pieces necessary anyway. I don't know. I'd have to look for the. I don't think it's that big a deal though. You're never going to use it.
I don't even know if it's going to fit in the box on the way home.
Yeah, the box is falling apart. I need to put some tape on the end of the box just so it doesn't fall apart.
I'd be tempted to take it home without the box. I guess we actually have to somewhat talk about the most iconic lightsaber in Star Wars history. Or at least the most used lightsaber in Star Wars history.
Yeah. Well, funny story behind it. You probably know the story, but some reviewers might not. It was originally a flashlight.
Oh, yes.
Well, a special kind of flashlight used for film. Lucas saw, yeah, I like the look of that. That's going to be my laser sword.
Laser sword. And it survived. It somehow survived being cut in half, much like Darth Maul did.
Yeah, but and it also somehow survived falling into a gas giant planet. Bespin is a gas giant. It just fell into the, it wouldn't have, you wouldn't be able to retrieve anything falling into a gas giant,
How Maz Kanata had it in The Force Awakens, that's a story for another day.
To be a bit of a science nerd here, both the Cassini and Galileo probes that orbited Saturn and Jupiter, respectively, ended their missions by plunging into the atmospheres of the gas giant planets and being crushed and burned by, the immense pressures.
Oh, this is just here to compare.
Yeah, this is a cheap little plastic one.
Compared to...
Yeah.
What is there much to say about this design, really?
Well, one thing is, being that it was one of the earlier models, it's steel. It's chrome-plated steel. The newer models are all brushed aluminum. And
they haven't re-released this one probably since they probably re-released it many times, but in the early Revenge of the Sith, post Revenge of the Sith, probably a couple years after. But I imagine this one's a lot harder to find. I'm glad they're finally getting back to actually releasing more.
Yeah.
We're releasing ones of different characters. Because that's what I've complained about for years, is the fact that Star Wars relies too much on the same 3 or 4 characters over and over again to sell the franchise.
And it's ironic.
Darth Vader, Luke, Obi-Wan, and Yoda. basically.
And it's ironic that as boring and bland and uninteresting a character Rey is, at the end of, spoilers, at the end of Rise of Skywalker, she teased one of the most awesome lightsabers we've ever seen.
Mm.
It has a yellow blade. We've never seen a yellow blade on the live-action screen before.
No, only in cartoons and
Yeah,
in
I
books.
think they appeared in Clone Wars and maybe Rebels,
Yeah,
but never in live action before.
They were the Jedi Guardians guarding the temple. They had yellow lightsabers.
So if Chirrut from Rogue One had a lightsaber, it would be yellow.
If only Finn was a Jedi, he would have gotten, like...
Well, John Boyega has made it very clear what he thinks about those movies,
Yes.
so...
But, I mean, just trying to think of, like, not, like, the material, but, like, the actual design of the hilt.
It has these things that you mentioned a lot of lightsabers have.
Yep. These are, like, Darth Vader's, Yoda's, other lightsabers to not as much an extent, but...
It has a little knob thing that doesn't do anything.
These little extra flares.
That's supposed to be the button that except the thing has two switches. This one too. Button, knob, switch.
Yeah. And only the switch.
It looks like it's supposed to have settings, like...
Yeah. Because Darth Vader's as Darth Vader, his lightsaber had a dual function where he could extend the blade farther than like apparently a dual phase lightsaber. So like it had two different phases he could extend it to depending on what he wanted.
Your Schwartz is as big as mine.
I feel like I can't say that sentence no matter what without getting that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Also, just go grab I'd say grab Darth Vader's to compare, but
I can do that. I'll be back.
And also, it's the main reason why this lightsaber is the main reason why Anakin never went to a red blade lightsaber, at least according to lore, is because he got so comfortable with this, even though he's lost it a couple times. Yeah, you can see the differences between like the designs he kept, but the low things he had to change.
Yeah, really the only major difference is that this has a little more black on it, which, you know, of course it does, because it's dark.
This piece and this piece are really the only...
Yeah, that's really it. It's just, it has a little more dark on it.
Yeah, that and the red kyber crystal.
Also, it has this little whatever clip thing.
Yeah. Each of them has their own style of clip, because obviously you have to wear them on your belt, or your lack of... Did I even wear belts, proper belts?
I think they do, yeah, because it keeps their robes from falling off.
And the Force Effects ones have this little turn dial with a...
Except so does this, except it doesn't turn.
Yeah.
This one doesn't have it though.
Weird. Because these attach to a belt clip, a secondary piece that was released with all the removable bladed lightsabers.
I got these at the same time. Why does this one have it and this one doesn't? That's weird. It has a more easier thing to clip.
Maybe because the actual prop of Darth Vader's lightsaber didn't have one, and maybe Anakin's did.
Ah.
Because yeah, they released all the lightsabers with variants that had removable blades. So they released a clip with those ones, so you could take the blade off and actually wear it. Because this is kind of awkward to wear.
Yeah,
a tiny bit.
I gotta emphasize, this was one of the earliest ones they released, and that was well before they had that gimmick of removable blade. This was.
But I think they released a variant of this one with a removable blade. Yeah.
But this particular model is, you know, first wave.
Yeah, because they've also released this with under Rey's branding.
Of course they have.
Because you can't just let it go. Let it go. Let it go.
Fuck it all. Fuck it all. Flip the tables and screw you up.
So, sound effects wise, it's exactly what you expect. Although, I think the sound clip is a bit different than the rest of the ones I have. You got your swinging and your hitting.
I have two more things to compare it to, actually.
Yes, even though we don't have one of those in Anakin's lightsaber, you can get one as Rey's lightsaber. But the blades aren't like these ones anymore. The blades are actually colored.
Yeah. Also, these are slightly shorter. These are ultimate effect. Yes. They're more lightweight and easier to swing around. You can tell that these ones will probably need new batteries soon, but
Yeah.
another difference is that that one doesn't blink when you hit it. These ones do. Another little gimmick thing.
Yeah, because these ones aren't supposed to be one-to-one screen accurate. This is trying to go for complete screen accuracy.
These are more designed to be like toys.
Yes.
Which is why we use them as props all the time, because they're very easy to use as props.
Also,
that thing's heavy.
Because of the vac metal, it's a massive fingerprint mat, and I keep staring at it and going, it's too many fingerprints on it.
Well, you can just take like a cloth and just wipe it down every now and then.
Yay, lightsabers! The coolest weapons that will never go away. No matter how much Disney tries to ruin them.
When you absolutely, positively have to kill every single mother effer in the room, except no substitute.
Exactly.
But, kind of wish I had a General Grievous mask, because it would be so much more fitting.
I'll probably be able to find one on like Etsy or something.
Or maybe even just eBay. Maybe like a cheap Halloween one, they might have those. But then you could start each new lightsaber review with,
this one is a nice addition to my collection.
this lightsaber will make a fine addition to my collection.
Because yes, show the people who can move things with their minds the things they want to move with their minds. Sure, good idea, General Grievous.
He's, one of his character traits is that he's extremely narcissistic.
And I don't think he's very good at battle strategy, but...
That depends on whether or not you watch the Clone Wars.
True.
And
just
which Clone Wars you watch.
Just like Linkara says, you shouldn't have to watch supplementary material to understand the movies.
Except the Tartakovsky Clone Wars actually came out before Episode 3.
And they didn't give General Grievous nearly enough time to actually develop.
No,
he was there in like...
but any scenes he did have were frickin' kick-ass. I haven't watched the other Clone Wars series, much of it, but from what I know, there is a lot more Grievous in it.
So uncivilized. Throws it away and it just stabs through a random person.
If only that happened to Rey, but anyway. We can dream.
No, I'm pretty sure there's fan fiction of that already, probably.
Much like how
there's
probably
fanfiction
like
of everything.
1,000 different fanfics of Jar Jar dying.
But in canon, he just ended up as a street beggar.
It's somewhat befitting him.
Instead of what people thought he would be, the Sith.
Yeah.
Darth Jar Jar. Darth redundant. Darth bad dialogue.
Darth bad acting. Darth bad CGI.
I wouldn't blame the actor.
Well,
I wouldn't blame him. More like I'd blame the direction that was given to him.
Actually,
and him trying to do his best.
The funny story behind that is, Lucas was originally going to have the character dubbed over by another actor. Like, it would be Ahmed Best, doing the mocap, but then another person voicing him over. But Ahmed Best, he later admitted it was because of his own ego. He wanted to convince Lucas he could do the performance himself. And yeah, Lucas gave in, and we got that. So, part of it was on him, and he admits that.
It's also very amusing that these two have different colored buttons and things. Like, although that paint's kind of...
Yeah. The paint is chipping. It's chrome-plated. Yeah. That's what I said. That's why the later models are brushed aluminum, because it's much... it's slightly lighter, and it's also, less prone to corrosion, whereas this, wherever the chrome is chipping, there's teeny tiny little rust spots. You can't see them on this camera, but they're there.
Mega zoom!
Also, these handle things are a teeny bit sticky, so
Yeah,
you'll
'cause
probably have to
there were-
wash that down.
There were stickers on there.
No, not that just the stickers. The actual material is breaking down because it's 15 years old.
And not properly kept well.
Well, I mean, I usually kept it in the box most of the time, but that's not really enough. It just needs like a damp cloth, wipe it down, teeny tiny little bit of dish soap, dry it off, should be fine.
I like how we've spent most of the time, like, not really talking about this because there's not much to say. But I don't know, 10. What do we wrap up?
How is
with?
it different from any of your other videos?
True. I mean, we're just that big Star Wars nerds that we can go into the massive lore surrounding just a simple, what is essentially a simple weapon for a more elegant.
Civilized age?
Yes, that. I was trying to remember that quote. Mm. And all the dick jokes you can muster.
I already did the Schwartz one, so.
My Schwartz is bigger than yours. But it's hard to say go out and buy one because they're not readily available. Like, unless you're looking on
eBay,
like eBay,
maybe.
yes, they're going to be ridiculous.
But the price is going to be jacked way up.
Yes. So it's like
Or you might end up with a broken one.
that too. Or you could go the third party route, the unofficial ones, the unofficial, really expensive ones if you want.
Or, you know, if you just happen to know someone who has one, like, for example, this was up until today mine, and I sold it to him for a price that we are not going to say on camera.
Exactly, I was about to tell you not to say it. I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating. And has the high ground.
Sand dunes.
Mm. Mm. Okay, I don't think we... Wrap it up. Yeah, I'm trying to think of something. May the Force be with you.
And keep the dark side up your sleeve.
And keep it weird. Bye. I'm pinching your head. We're
I
forced.
find your lack of subscribing disturbing.
Click that like button and join the dark side.
Or be destroyed.